What exactly did Ash discover while on board the Nostromo when observing Kane during his incubation period, and whilst conducting his extensive research into the expended specimen known as the Facehugger? What did he learn, what secrets did he keep, and what could we be about to find out in Alien Romulus relating to this object? After my trailer analysis a few days back, I decided to spend some time chatting with you amazing people in the comments in an effort to discover more clues that I may have missed in my initial reactions, and let's just say that I learnt a lot. On that note, I have to give my subscribers a massive thank you, as the forum space generated in the comments section by you folks is starting to feel like a real community and a safe space to discuss all ideas relating to Alien. I want you guys to know that the dude appreciates this gesture. It's no secret that the recent full-length trailer for Romulus was full of Easter eggs, nostalgia-inducing images and sounds, as well as a very sinister and mysterious underlying backbone that screams conspiracies and connections to the much-respected original movies that surround Romulus within this timeline. One of the stimulating images that made its appearance was this little beauty. It had me baffled at first, but after some careful consideration and chatting back and forth with you guys, it would undeniably suggest that there is more to this floating rock than meets the eye. There is also a clear indication that what we thought we knew regarding the Xenomorph's capabilities is nowhere near its true mark. The return of Big Chap, which is a reference to the first Xenomorph in Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien, began as a simple rumour with little evidence to support it other than some scarring to the creature seen in images, theories as to how Weyland scientists obtained a specimen, as well as the supposedly confirmed leaks online. Then, when the full trailer arrived, some pieces of these puzzles slowly began to take shape, revealing a potential narrative that not only seems more plausible now, but also may elaborate further on the biology of structural perfection that exists within this elusive specimen. So I have now come to firmly believe that what we are looking at here is the Xenomorph's ability to perform something called cryptobiosis. This is a metabolic state used only to my knowledge by an aquatic animal on Earth named a tardigrade. This creature thrives in freshwater and can be found all over the planet, but in size it only measures a meagre 0.3 to 1.5 millimeters. During its state of cryptobiosis, all metabolic processes cease, preventing reproduction, development and repair. A tardigrade's metabolic activity drops to as little as 0.01% of normal levels during this process. This happens due to adverse environmental conditions such as extreme dehydration, freezing, oxygen deficiency and increased heat. The tardigrade is certainly not indestructible whilst in this state, but has a powerful adaptation that allows them to survive for decades in extreme conditions, such as space. When outside conditions do return to something resembling hospitable, the organism will also return to the exact metabolic state of life it was before cryptobiosis. Are you with me on this? I believe this shot depicts such an event and strongly suggests not only a similar survival process, but also the ability of the creature to form a cocoon around itself before initiating cryptobiosis. I would love to know just how the formation of a cocoon even begins. For instance, is this material secreted through the mouth and possibly the protruding pipes on the xenomorph's back? Or is the hardened shell constructed from an extreme form of molting, where perhaps its exoskeleton transforms into this protective bubble? For what length of time the alien who once terrorized the Nostromo has been cocooned in this state of near-death is uncertain, but at least we possibly now have an answer as to what condition the specimen will be in when it is discovered. What gives this theory even more credence is the grossly mesmerising 2-second shot of what distinctly looks like an adult xenomorph exiting a thick layer of protection. I had previously assumed this to be some form of new creature able to be born at a much higher state of development, and I know some of you were hoping for an alien king to make its appearance, but all the evidence points very acutely towards this new revelation regarding the alien's biology, at least when it comes to lore restricted to the films, that is. What further backs this theory up is the visible damage to one of the xenomorph's dome-shaped head in multiple images here, reflecting the physical state the lifeform was in after it was ejected from Ripley's shuttle and burned by its thrusters. Just an afterthought to all of this, I wonder how invested is Fede Alvarez in the mystery of the deleted scenes from 1979's Alien. where we saw 2 crew members cocooned and slowly being altered. One certainly was being transformed into an egg and the other more likely to be the host. This is very different from the hibernation process in question, but it does demonstrate the powerful chemical reactions that take place within the xeno's secretion. I'm also fascinated by how much knowledge Science Officer Ash might have discovered from his secret research and testing that took place on board the Nostromo, and whether his findings included evidence of such an outstanding ability to survive so well within the very creature's DNA. As we know, the rest of the crew were not privy to this information for reasons benefiting Weyland-Yutani, but one must also ask themselves, did Ash report his findings back to the company via Mother? Once Ripley gained access to the console, no such logs appeared to ever exist, but perhaps there was a built-in fail-safe that prevented this information from ever being revealed to the expendable crew members, as the cargo ship and all of its contents were company-owned after all. Assuming that all of this information is correct, then what happened after Big Chap's safety bubble was retrieved? From the looks of it, the background around the cocoon appears to match the creature's natural environment, meaning it looks like a hive. This could mean 2 things in my mind. Is it more likely that what we can see here is an artificial hive structure within a lab environment designed by Weyland employees to observe and study the creature organically, almost like a zoo? Or are we witnessing its re-emergence at a point in the timeline after certain experiments on board the station have entered a catastrophic conclusion? We don't know as of yet what horrors lurk in the depths of Renaissance Station, lying in wait all this time, but we do know from the trailer that the young salvagers appear to trigger a release of contained specimens in the form of facehuggers. So it is very unclear as to the when, where and how of Big Chap at this point in time when the salvaging crew arrive at the station. It's still very much up for debate as to how the company were able to find the original alien floating in space after the events of the Nostromo detonation. The idea that a tracking device would always be installed in the grappling devices, notably the one used by Ripley when forcing the creature out of the airlock, is a little strange to me, but it would make sense in explaining how they found this needle in a cosmic haystack. Lastly, I do wonder how the scientists were able to grow such a large amount of specimens in incubators within the lab. It's easy to assume that the black goo which made its debut in the prequels will play a major part in their ability to reverse engineer and create more of this species. However, I'm also considering the idea of a natural habitat setting created for the retrieved alien known as Big Chap. This would allow the creature to feed and reproduce naturally whilst offering tremendous scientific study for the division in charge of this project. It is fascinating, and I'm not sure what it says about me that I'm currently just as interested in the mechanics and workings of it all as I am in discovering how the story will play out. But I am dying to know all these geeky details, having been invested so heavily in this franchise ever since I was 8 years old. And yes, before you ask, I had great parents who let me watch any horror film I wanted. So those are my thoughts on just one particular thing that caught my eye in the trailer, and you can be sure there'll be many more to come. I'd love to know if you have any theories that you think are perhaps more solid or counter anything I've discussed, as I'm just having some fun with Romulus at the moment and have no idea how things will actually turn out. Look forward to your comments as always, take care.